Will you find your way, or disappear trying? Will you rise to glory, or fade into obscurity? No one knows. Only time will tell.
How's it going, guys? I'm Smoker God. Today we're getting into Life is Feudal. So I've been away for a while. I was working on a video for Life is Feudal, and things didn't really work out. Things were going a little slow. So I decided I was going to level up my guy. Once I was doing that, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do this in a dedicated server. So I restarted my character and started leveling up in a dedicated server I had made. I was just at the point where I was pretty much level 60 where I needed to be for starting to build an actual city and stuff. I was going to start recording the video. Server crashed, couldn't get it up again, had to make a new server, lost everything. So do it again. Same thing happened a week later, server crashed, lost everything. So we're at the point again. I just made another server. I don't know, hopefully this one doesn't crash, but I'm just going to start recording little bits and clips, and I decided the first video is just going to be different ways to level up different parts. This is going to take me a while to probably record this video, because I'm not going to record the whole leveling process. I'm just going to set it up, do a quick little skit of how you do it, and then I'm just going to do it off screen and AFK style. You're not going to see that part. So let's jump into the world. And I already have a created character, but I'm going to go through the created character process and show which skills you kind of want to work on, which ones you want to get a head start on, and so on and so forth. Alright, so we're going to jump in a world. I'm going to have to direct connect because it doesn't show up for me. I don't even know if it shows up for other people yet, but I guess we'll find out. Alright, here we are. So we're going to create a new character. Let's go with this guy here. Let's make his appearance. Kind of a funny looking face. You know what? Let's go funny looking face guy. Hair. God, no. We want the man bun looking thing? Maybe. That's what my other guy has. Got the bowl cut. I kind of like that. What do we got? Facial hair. Really? That's as fast as I could zoom in? Come on. Jesus. Alright. That's a better look on the facial hair. Ooh. That's like a Santa Claus beard. You know what? Let's make Santa Claus. That's it? That's the colors? Wow. Okay, well, we're gonna call him Young Santa.
You can run, but you cannot hide.
Yeah, that's a booming voice like Santa would have. Okay. So let's get into attributes. Don't want to spend too much time on the character creation, because there's not much there. Okay, so strength. You're going to gain lots of strength easily. You're going to gain agility easily. Constitution, not really so important. Intellect is how many bonus points you could have, but because it's a dedicated server, I can kind of set it to whatever I want. You don't need that. Willpower is how much you can carry. You want that as full as you can. Why can I only go down to 12? Weird. My other guy was able to go down to 10 for them. Okay, so that right up all the way. These ones are, other than the carrying, is really minor. Doesn't affect anything. And you could gain those stats pretty easily. Here's where it really matters. Artisan. All the way down. Because you're going to gain lots of artisan. Everything you do gains artisan. Construction, as high as you can go. Combat skills. Because this is a private server, only joining with friends, it's not really a PvP server. You're going to want Slinger. Because once you get this leveled up, which is like throwing rocks and slingshots and stuff, you get your bow and arrow skill is the next one up from this. So you want to get a head start on that as early as possible. And that's it. Done. Create. So we're going to go Young Santa. Play. There we go. Takes a second for everything to adjust. Let's see where we are. Oh, we're way over here now. Okay. So, first things first, let's take a look at the map. And, oh, that didn't stretch things out. Okay, so we're right here. This is roughly where, because this is basically Newbie Island, because this is Life is Feudal Your Own. Obviously, the MMO server is shut down. But when you first join the MMO, you would start out on this exact island, except there was an AI city here, and it basically gave you a tutorial of all the tasks you could do. And yeah, so it was roughly right around here. That's not in this game. This is just a free land. This is the map. This isn't a beginner island. Before you join a bigger island, this is it, which is plenty big for just a couple friends, which is all I need. So we don't want to be too far from water right off the bat until we have the ability to be able to build a water well. Then you could be wherever you want, because then you could get all the water you need. So let's stay near here. We got some clay. We got water. We probably have mining resources nearby. Might have to check some maps for that. But we're quite a bit away from being able to do anything with iron yet anyway, so where are we? We're right there. Okay, so let's take a look at our stats here. Construction's almost level 30, but we can't get past level 30 until we level this up to level 60, which is fine because we'll have to set up an area and dig out some stuff and all that good stuff. So, where do we want to go first? I say first, we're going to start with the construction stats since we already have a heading, and we're going to start with artisan first, which will be leveled up easily just from gathering all our resources and all that stuff. So, where do we want to set up? I think we're going to go closer to the clay over here. But this is a pretty flat land already, so let's build here. Alright, so we're near the clay. Not too far from water, which that won't be a big deal later, but we definitely want to be near a clay source, because we'll need a lot of clay later on before we are able to build carts of any kind. So let's take a look at the depths here. Okay, so we do want to level out some things. Yeah, seems like 4 meters is a good starting gap because it goes back up. Down here, we're going to have to raise it quite a bit, but we got a lot of mountain to dig out back here anyway. So, yeah, we'll start with 4 meters. Just because of my OCD, I can't have it 4.1 or anything like that. It has to be right on. So first thing, before we could do anything, we need to look for materials. We're just going to build all our starting tools to begin with, and then we're set up to start. Snow plant fibers? Oh, plant fibers. Okay, so I think I picked up everything from that first round except for these throwing stones. Because... oh, no, a couple more sticks here. Do not show up very well. Sometimes you really gotta walk around and look for it. I didn't get much plant fiber, though. 5 plant fiber. Oh, we got some bread. Oh, might as well get dressed. Look at that. We got free clothes. Boom. So, if we build the construction, or go to crafting, I mean. So we will need an axe. Definitely need a shovel. We will need a saw. I don't have enough for it right now. Don't have enough for a hammer either. You know what? Let's build another shovel, because we're gonna go through a couple shovels doing what we gotta do. And that's the next step right now anyway. So, we don't need the axe even right now. I might as well keep all that stuff. Carry 150. That's not bad. I'm gonna be back in 1 second. Alright, so currently I have my world stat multiplier to 10. So I'm gonna gain XP a lot faster than you normally would in the base version of the game. Just because that's the kind of the turnoff for anybody that, like, I love the hardcoreness of this game, of how you gotta grind for everything. But I prefer how it was implemented in the MMO later on, because originally it was like this one, where if you want to upgrade your construction stat, you actually have to do something construction. And I mean, there's only so many things you could build, so you end up in the situation where, let's say you figure out the most efficient way to build things at a high speed would be to build a specific thing, let's say a fence. So you grind out building 85 fences, so you make a whole line of them, and then you gather all the resources you need, and then you build fence, build fence, build fence, and that's how you grind the stat, and it doesn't make it very fun, where in the MMO, they made it so that you just in the MMO, they made it so that you build up a bank of XP, so that you can upgrade one item at a time, and depending of which bracket of level it is, it takes a specific number of time. Just time, doesn't matter whether you're in-game or not, it uses from your bank of XP. So the only downfall to that is once you maxed out your bank of XP, if you're gaining XP faster than it's spending it, you're kind of stuck to either do things and not get XP for it, or you're just losing that XP because you're maxed out. So it's almost better to stop playing the game once you're maxed out, come back later once the XP has been spent and once you're off time. But you're leveling the higher things, it ends up taking even longer before you actually get level out of it, so then it's even longer you gotta spend away before your XP bank drains. So there was good parts and bad parts about it, but I much prefer it over grinding the individual thing and having to build a million fences or a million things just to gain construction level. Construction was kind of a bad example, I guess, because paving roads is also included in that, and you could just grind away paving roads, and it just makes it better for you and lays out worlds better. But yeah, other things like blacksmithing especially, it's just like making 1,000,000 copper pots over and over again. Then you just got this big bag of copper pots that you have to throw away. Just seems inefficient, but it is what it is, I guess. Now that that rant's over, I completely forgot what I was actually doing. Right. We're going to be leveling some ground so that we could start building our town. Santa's village, if you will. We bring up the grid, Control F3, so we can see the height of each block. So we are going to want to bring this... I'm going to grab a couple more sticks since they're here. Oh, that's another thing I wanted to show you, is I haven't looked for a second batch of materials yet. I just gained the one batch, even though that was some time ago. If we bring up my stat menu, you'll see that just in Nature's Lore alone, just from that first batch, I went up 7 levels. To be fair, I probably only would have went up maybe 1 level in the original game, but like I said, I have a 10 times multiplier. So it's a little bit nice in that way. Less of a grind, which was the whole point of the spiel I just had. All right, let's go. So we're just going to start leveling it off to 4 meters even. I don't need that. So you could set the default with right click on any action you could do on that tile, and every time you go on that tile, you don't have to open the menu, look down the thing, and dig upwards for this, and you could just right click on it, and that's all you got to do. See, just walk up to it, and he starts digging now. It's beautiful. So early on in the game, before you build up enough willpower to carry large amounts, you kind of have to keep an eye on your max limit. You can, once you have your max limit, like it went red when I passed 154, so now I'm overburdened, but you can carry double the weight of your inventory before it starts refusing. So just keep that in mind. Whatever your max inventory is, you can always carry double that in your inventory. And when you pick up blocks, it's in chunks of 30 soil at a time. Okay, so this is the last block I'll be able to pick up before I gotta go. Let's cancel that. So now, we just get to start filling in 1 or 2 blocks at a time to start leveling out. So I'm going to do this for a while until I have a substantial flat area to work with, and I'll be back. And one more thing worth mentioning is the quality of items. It doesn't matter so much in the early game because you're going to go through so many things, and it doesn't affect too much right now, but something you might want to think about, and I mean, it doesn't hurt to think about it early game, is the quality of items. So you'll notice there's a little star here. So for example, this one is a quality of 10 for the soil, and this one is 27. So once you start planting crops, high quality soil becomes very important to get high quality crops. So if you happen to come across very high quality fertile soil, for example, or very high quality wood, or regional items of any kind, but we'll get into that later, it wouldn't hurt to put it aside and kind of remember where you put that stuff. Because if you put, well, regional items is different, but if you put this, like I got 90 in this one stack of 27s, so I could drop these 3 of them 27 isn't worth really keeping. I'm just using it as an example, but so I could drop the 2 of them on here, and I could pick up these same 2 from this square, and it'll be that same quality. Nothing will have changed. Even if I put down a different quality over it, I put down the 10 quality on top of this, the first one I pick up will be 10, but then the other 2 will still be that same quality. So every stack of soil stays where it actually is. Unless it's something regional, it loses its regional property if you put it down. You could put it in like a chest or something, and it's fine, but the second you drop it, I think it loses it. For ores, in any way, that's the case. But once you have, somewhat of an area that's getting flattened, you can actually flatten the tile where it'll go from, in this view, it'll go from a white square to a green square if it's been flattened. It won't appear any different unless it's on the edge of something. Here, this one's perfectly flat, so just to show you, we could flatten this ground. And to do any work on any tile, you have to be on the direct adjacent tile. So it wouldn't have worked if I was here and tried to flatten that tile. And if I'm on this tile and I flatten that tile, it'll flatten it to whatever tile I'm on. So if I was lower, for example, it would have just removed one layer of soil and nothing else would have happened, and then I'd have to flatten again for it to go green. So this is, like I said, it didn't change shape because all the tiles around it are exactly that same height, so this is uniformly already 4.0. But if I was to do this one, for example, use shovel, flatten ground, because this side tile here is lower, this one is sloped slightly, so now it flattens this tile and makes a sharper slope here. The max depth of this slope, regardless whether it's flattened or not, is 2 meters. If you try to stack this tile more than 2 meters from any tile aside from it, the ground will kind of just tumble down to that next tile to make it higher. Then you might be able to level it up. Just something to keep in mind. But, yeah, so I'm going to flatten this area here just to give me an idea where I'm at. And it's easier to see where you need to drop soil and where you don't. Just to show what I was talking about earlier, I'm on this 4.0 tile, and I'm going to try to flatten the 4.1 tile. So, because a flatten motion isn't something that can be stacked or repeated, it'll just do the one. So it flattened it one tick towards the one you're standing on. So it flattened it obviously to 4.0, which is what we're on. So if I click it again now it'll actually flatten it because the 2 tiles I'm working from and working on are the same height. So now it shows me it's flattened. If I was to do it on the 4.2, so one action of flattening will bring it down, like I said, one tick towards the one I'm on, which is 4.0, so it'll bring it down to 4.1. So now I gotta go again to bring it down one more tick. So now it reaches 4.0. And if I was to do it again, I'm not, you know what, we'll just do it to show you. So now it'll flatten it on the 3rd tick. So for reasons like that, especially if, well, it's not so bad if you're just doing, it's not so bad if you're just doing one motion to get it down 1, but you start going down 2 or 3, is just way more efficient to actually have the lower ground because it could stack to 3, so you only have to click once and it'll do 3 actions of digging. It takes the time of doing 3 actions, you just don't have to click it every time. Just a little bit more efficient in that way, I guess.